Welcome to Programming with Qt Widgets. In this episode, we are looking at widgets organizing other widgets. And I know than the previous episode, I went into a lot of details, so I'll give you my scout honor that I definitely will do that in this episode too. Okay, starting out with those widgets organizing other widgets. We actually have 5 of these, and if you didn't get that reference before, then you're not old enough to watch this episode here. Go and watch the full back catalog of Star Trek before you continue here. We have 5, that's the fingers here, of these widgets, and I wrote them down here so I can get to them to you in the right order. So the first one is QGroupBox. That's a widget with the kind of a header and organized widget. I have a slide for that in just 1 second. Then we have TabWidget, and TabWidget, that's, well, you know what a TabWidget is. A bunch of tabs. I have that on a slide too. Then the third one is a toolbox, and I'll show you that in Qt Designer. And toolbox is, people called it in the earlier days the Outlook widget because they were the one inventing it. It's a stack, just similar to a tab widget in a way, but I'll show you that too. And then underneath a QTabWidget, we actually have a QStackedWidget. That's a widget where one is visible and the other in the stack is invisible. Finally, the widget controlling a lot of things underneath the hood is the QScrollArea. The QScrollArea is a widget that you can put other widgets on, and then it will scroll them around. I'll talk just a slight bit towards the end about that. But let's first go over and look at the slide. So QGroupBox is the most simple of them. It's just a group of widgets that belongs together. There is a border or an indication of some sort that tells the user that they belong together. And it has a title at the top. The way you usually work with GroupBox is that you have this facility of saying new QGroupBox, specifying the title and a parent as before. GroupBox can be checkable, and when they are checkable, then when they are not checked, then all the children are disabled. If you're saying to yourself, well, that's a cool facility, it would be useful if I had a GroupBox with the checkbox meaning something different, not selecting the items. Well, unfortunately, that's not a facility that is supported out of the box, but you can do it yourself. Really, it is not that difficult to place a checkbox as the child of the group box at the very top. Then the next one that we have is a tab widget, and that's a widget with a bunch of tab bars. And as you can see here on the slide, you create your tab widget by just saying new QTabWidget. You add your widget one after the other. This is the widget of the tab. This is the icon in case that you want an icon on it, and the text. And as always, there's a few different overloads. So if you don't have an icon, then there's an overload for add widget with just the widget and the text. The tab widget supports sending out a signal whenever the current tab has been clicked. And that might be a facility to use if you want to only populate a given tab whenever it has been selected. You can programmatically tell that which of the widgets should be the current one, either by saying set current index, which we don't have here, or set current widget and just specifying one of your widgets. The tab positions can be customized. So should it be down the side or on the top or underneath the bottom? And finally, you can make the tabs closable. So if you have something with you're implementing a text editor and you want each tab to represent a document, then you can close those document by a cross on the tab itself. Oh my God, is it 2023 already? And you hardly got up to speed with C++ 11. Well, the good thing is we got you covered. Take a training from QTab. Whatever your need is, I'm sure we can meet them. Now let's move over to Qt Designer so I can show you the next one of these widgets, namely the toolbox. Well, I don't have a screenshot for the toolbox, and at the end of the day, it's easier to understand what it does and how it works by just seeing it in action. And the toolbox you'll find over here in Qt Designer in this section called Container Widgets, and I can count to more than 5 here, so let me just correct myself right away. We're talking about the QGroupBox. We've seen that QScrollArea. We'll talk about toolbox. It's just about it. QTabWidget, QStackedWidget, and then we have 2 here. And shame on me for not remembering QWidget. Of course, QWidget is one that organizes other widgets. Doesn't look like anything. And almost looking like nothing, we have QFrame. QFrame is worthwhile to mention, if for no other reason, because a lot of people, I'm sure, out there has been looking for QLine. Of course, if you scroll down here, I have horizontal and vertical lines. And if I just drag one of these in, you can see that it's called line. Let me just drag something else in, QDial here. QDial is called the QDial, but line here, I actually think that's just a small trick that they created in Qt, or they did in Qt Designer to have that line, because the line actually is just a QFrame with a specific style. And well, let me just drag it in again and show you over here in the sidebar. You can see that it is actually just a QFrame that we have there when we talk about a line. So if you want a border around something, then QFrame is your go-to widget for that. And QFrame also has this facility of being just a separating line horizontally or vertically if you do it by hand. If you do it in Qt Designer, obviously just drag the line in. But if you do it by hand, then it's a QFrame where you need to set the frame style. I wanted to show you QToolBox. So let's just look at QToolBox. Hi, almost there. So QMDI I have not done anything with that forever. QTopWidget is an MDI area with whatever around it. And let me just give you a small hint to a tool that we've created in QTApp, namely QTopWidget. It is much more powerful and has way fewer blocks than QTopWidget, and is way more extensible. So I know if you're on a commercial project, it means money out of your pocket and into mine, but in the end, it will save you a lot of time. There's a link below for QTopWidget. And now let's talk about the toolbox. So the toolbox looks like this. And if I just scale it a bit further up, then you can see I have a number of pages in here. And on each page, I can add something. Let's just add some push buttons here. There's a push button there and another push button there. And what you need to understand is that this area that is lighter gray here than the rest of it is actually a widget that you place stuff onto. So when I now select the toolbox, it looks like I'm selecting everything, but I'm really just selecting that widget that we have in there for me to lay out the children. Control L. I gotta admit, I didn't know that there was a shortcut for that. I can also create other widgets in here. If I could grab it and, well, let me try the Control L. Does seem to work. I can even get these spacers in here so it looks more realistic. And if I want to add something else, right click on it here. And then I have somewhere down here, insert page after current page. And if I want to change the title, I have so many times been double clicking here saying, how do I change? Oops, now I just got to that page. How do I change the title? Well, right click and page 3 of 3, delete page, promote page, insert. How do I change the title? Well, I do that by going over here. That's a bit of a trick that I need to go over here and find, what's it called? Title? Current item text. And that's where I'll give it another time here. So my title, and it's the same thing with the tab widgets inside of Qt Designer. It took me forever to figure that out. And let's run the application now. Control L Shift R. There we are. And now you can see that I switch between these tabs this way. It's a glorified tab widget. Often you'll see it with some actions in here and then over in this area there, or on the other side, I don't know. You will find more details for each of those items. The remaining two widgets are QStackedWidget, which you very seldomly use yourself, but it's technically just a stack of widgets where the topmost is the only one visible. You can raise items from that stack. And the other one is a QScrollArea. And let me just show you what it looks like in Kit Designer. So over here in my containers, I'll find my QScrollArea. Let's just resize it a bit larger. And let's take a push button in and just cut it and paste it a number of times. And what you can see here is that this area here is actually a Q widget inside the scroll area that has the children on it. You can see the scroll bars right away here. And let me just put it into layout and preview it. And you can see the scroll bar will come into existence whenever I resize it to small. It will even come into existence if I resize it to small in the horizontal direction. In code, what you basically do, just go and find QScrollArea here, is that you will create a single widget, set widget here with a single widget, and that is the widget that we saw in Qt Designer 2 that has all the children and the layout and so on. So you create a widget, add children to it, add a layout to it, and then call set widget on the QScrollArea. The size that it will get in there is the size hint of each of the children. You may say, well, wait a minute, Jesper. One widget, I have this idea of a scroll area, of a landscape, and the landscape is so huge that I do not want to create all the items of that landscape up front. Can I do anything there? And yes, go and look at the super class now, the QAbstractScrollArea. That one has facility for a viewport that you place items on, but they will only be, or you will only create the items whenever that area is visible. And that's where you might already want to go and look at QGroupBox view, which is a whole framework for items on an abstract scene that where the items will only render themselves whenever there actually is, when they actually are in the view. But that is for a much later episode, or even a set of episodes to talk about that thingy, QGroupBox view, of course, and the QAbstractScrollArea. I'll let it be to yourself to read up on that. Gee, time flies, doesn't it? It has been almost an hour now talking about the most common widget. Had this been a physical training, we would have been done in 15 minutes. But hey, that's the beauty of this format here, that I can go into way more detail. The disadvantage with this format is that you could have, in a physical training, raised your hand and said, Jesper, I don't care about that. Let's continue on. And we could have done that instead of doing it here. But these are two different formats. Let me urge you to go and book one of our trainings. I really want to go and meet all of you guys and share a lot of my knowledge on Qt widgets. Anyway, next time we're going to talk about list widgets. So stay tuned. And until then, have a great time.